Hello and welcome to this edition of Reporters on France 24, the weekly magazine featuring in-depth reports from correspondents around the world. I'm Andrea Sankey. France is more than 5,000 miles away from the island of Sri Lanka, an independent country just off the southern coast of India. Sri Lanka has been independent since 1948, after its then colonial ruler Britain handed over the reins of power to local authorities. But 35 years ago, another independence movement grabbed hold of the country, led by the Tamil Tiger rebels. Now, they've fought since 1972 to secure the north and east of Sri Lanka for their Tamil-speaking minority. Now, just last May, the Tamil Tigers were listed as a terrorist organization here in France. And on April 1st, 17 suspected Tigers were arrested in and around Paris and accused of funding terrorism. It's believed they raised some $8 million last year alone for their separatist cause via extortion and money laundering. And the victims of their racket are believed to be Tamil civilians themselves who fled the fighting at home to live peacefully in France. Our correspondent went to investigate their claims of intimidation and extortion by the Tamil Tiger rebels.
This neighborhood in eastern Paris is home to most of the city's Tamil population. 40,000 of them have come here after fleeing Sri Lanka and the war for independence, being led by the Tamil Tigers. Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, or the LTTE, has been fighting against the Sri Lankan government to gain control of the regions in north and east of Sri Lanka. The Tamil Tigers took up arms in 1972 and since then have been engaged in a terror campaign. They demand complete autonomy and want a separate homeland known as the Tamil Eelam. The LTTE is headed by its founder, Vellupillai Prabhakaran. The Tigers consider him their president. Prabhakaran is determined to fight this battle to the very end and has urged the Tamil diaspora to finance the guerrilla war. Some Tamils pay willingly, others say they're obliged to pay. In Paris, many Tamil families and businessmen have fallen victim to an extortion racket run by organizations linked to the LTTE. Rakma is one of them. He is hesitant to show his face on camera but tells us how the racket works.
The LTTE is the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. They threaten us and force us to pay a revolutionary tax. In France, the Tamil Tigers call themselves the TCC, the Tamil Coordination Committee. It's a big fundraising racket. They demand €1 per day. Every Tamil family ends up paying 2,000 to 3,000 euros every year. You can pay it in 2 or 3 installments. A businessman has to pay at least 15,000 to 20,000 euros a year. They too can pay in 2 or 3 installments. The LTTE is like a sect. Once you get involved, there's no turning back. If you don't pay them, they threaten to kill you. They insult you and cause you many problems. They come to your house. They have keys to the building, like the postman. 2 or 3 men come. They say they're from the TCC and want to speak to you. If you let them enter, they tell you you haven't paid and coax you to contribute. I got into trouble when I refused to pay. 5 or 6 LTTE representatives attacked me. They were driving a foreign car. The car number plate wasn't French. They beat me until I was unconscious. They broke my leg.
Shop owners don't hesitate to publicly proclaim their support for the Tamil Tigers. Do you support the Tamil Tigers?
Yes, of course I do.
Some of them avoid answering our questions. They pretend not to understand. Shopkeepers are forced to pay money to send to Sri Lanka. Do you know anything about this?
I don't understand.
Do you know anything about this fundraising racket?
No, I don't speak French.
But it doesn't matter. Do you send money to Sri Lanka?
No, I don't.
But this man says that he recognizes LTTE representatives in Paris. But there are LTTE representatives